What would happen if the flat Earth model was projected onto a sphere? Well, this was put together by Dr. Andrew Marsh, and it is essentially a globe with the flat Earth model projected on top. And it's very nice because it shows us the same stuff as if it were on the flat Earth. For example, this position right here is the sun's ground position. So just like on the flat Earth model, how the sun would move between the tropics of Cancer and the tropics of Capricorn, that behavior is still modeled throughout here. So for example, right now it's January 15th, but I could slide this date around and you see how the ground position of the sun goes between the Tropic of Capricorn and the Tropic of Cancer, just like what happens on flat Earth. But let's go back to today, January 15th, because I want to show you the differences. I want to make it very clear that this right up here, this is that same azimuthal grid of vision that we have on our flat Earth. So don't let anyone tell you that those grids of perspective are special to flat Earth. Every model has them. But what the globe does is the globe, as you can obviously see, if they tried to fully wrap it around, it wouldn't work. And the angle of elevations just wouldn't work. So what happens is they have to measure Earth flat. Anyone who does any measurement of Earth will always have to measure it flat and then project the real life flat Earth model onto a sphere, just like what you're seeing right here. And if you notice, what happens is the sun is not actually pointing at where the sun would be. So let's turn this around and see if we can see where the sun is on this model. See how the sun is way over there, but you can see how the lines don't match up. And there's different views as well. So what we would expect, well, at least on flat Earth, what happens is these lines match up. So let's go over to the flat Earth model. So what happens is we have the flat surface, but it's actually pointing to the sun. You see the difference, right? So the GP of the sun, that ground position, is still the exact same. So let me just see like where it is, the South Pacific Ocean over here. So then if we go to the globe model and go to their ground position, yeah, so it's still in the middle of the ocean. Let me just go here to make it very clear. So the sun's ground position is still here in the middle of the ocean, except because the globe's not real life, the angles don't match up. So let's go back to the real life flat Earth model. So see how the sun is still at the exact same ground position, except this time it can actually point to it. Does that make sense? So the first person perspective is the same. Right here, we have an observer on Earth, which was measured flat to have an elevation angle of 15 degrees. Yeah, you can see it up there. It's sort of cut off. I should have adjusted that a little better. But right now, you see how it shows in nice big letters at the top, 15 degrees. Let's go over to the globe model and see if we can also see it. It's going to be in small, so make sure you're watching then in 4K resolution so you can zoom up and see. But notice how this angle of elevation is also 15 degrees because they have to use the flat Earth model. If they didn't have this up here, it wouldn't match what the observer sees. So what they're trying to do is match as close as they possibly can to the flat Earth model by projecting it onto a sphere. But as you can see, it doesn't actually work out because it can't actually point to where the sun is. These angles will never match up. So this is one of the best globe models I've ever seen. The link is going to be in the chat, in the description. So I encourage you to look at it and see it for yourself. Like, don't be afraid of this. I encourage everyone to learn how the globe works so you understand how it really makes no sense at all. It's trying to replicate what the flat earth model does. You see that? Watch this. Pay attention to the observer and the angles of the sun. Let me see if I can do another view. Yeah, see? So it ends up staying like straight to where the ground position should be, but on flat Earth, it actually just points there. So you see what I mean? So globe models also have these mini domes of perspective. All it is an angle of elevation. So on like flat Earth, or like no matter what, if you just go outside, you're going to measure Earth flat. You're going to have this type of measurement done. And then on flat Earth, we just point it to it and it makes perfect sense. Whereas on the globe, it can't line up.